Hi Year 4, it's Friday today and Mrs Morris is here to give you a hand with your Friday planning lesson. So hopefully you can all watch the video, have a little think about your portal stories and get ready to be writing them up next week. So you've worked really hard this week on boxing up your ideas so far. So we're going to really get into our boxing up today to make sure we've got a solid plan ready for when we start our writing. So there's a pattern to our boxing up today, and there's a scaffolder template for you on English on the Friday for the Learning Hub today. So this is the pattern that we're going to be working on today. So hopefully you can see as I move down what I would like you to have a go at, and I'm going to give you some examples. Now, you don't have to come up with your final idea today, but it will help with your writing next week if you have a really clear idea about where you'd like your story to go. So this is where we're going to be starting today. We're looking at the main character, or MC, where you find the magical portal and enters the new world. So you guys have worked really hard on thinking about who your character might be and what your portal will look like and where they will find their portal. I particularly like that some of you have managed to talk a little bit about what your portal looks like, and I think some of you have got a really solid idea about where your portal might lead to. So this week, hopefully you've had to think about where the portal appears, whether that be unexpected, so it might suddenly appear somewhere quite normal, could be your bedroom or your kitchen, or somewhere that's familiar to you. Sometimes that makes writing a little bit easier if you write where you find your portal somewhere that is familiar, because that's where you live, or where you're familiar with in terms of, it could be school, could be somewhere that you like to go for a walk, because magic portal might appear on a favorite walk. But that makes writing a little bit easier if you talk about somewhere that you know well. You're going to describe your new world. Okay, now that, as we said before earlier in the week, that can be anywhere you want. Let your imagination run wild with this one. It could be in the middle of the ocean, it could be somewhere in history, it could be in the future. It's entirely up to you. And try and draw on your interests. And I'm thinking of some of you have particular interest in things that you could really go to town here and let your imagination run wild. If you pick something that's really interesting to you, then it makes the writing a bit easier, because you can talk a little bit about something that is close to your heart, something that you really enjoy. But make sure, guys, that you're putting all that fantastic descriptive language in there. Make it really clear to your reader what the world is like, what you can see. How is it cold? Is it hot? Maybe you can smell certain smells. Then your main character is going to encounter a new world and encounter a problem. So they are going to have something that they have to battle or contend with when they're in their new world. So you want to spend some time thinking about how they're going to explore first. Don't rush straight into the problem. You want to spend a bit of time exploring, telling your reader what the world is like, and then a problem might occur. Then your main character has to escape and return through the portal. Have a think about how your character is going to overcome the problem, how they're going to get back to the portal as well. And that's really, really important, because they need to get back home. Okay. Now, this is quite a nice ending to your planning today, is that your main character gets back to their familiar place. That could be home, it could be your favourite walk, and they're back where they were originally, but they cannot find their portal again. But the nice thing here, guys, it says sometimes we bring back something from the portal. So we might not be able to see our door or our portal anymore, but we've brought something back, something from that other world. We could be holding it in our hand, and we might think about our character looking at that and feeling perhaps a bit confused, looking around, can't see the portal at all. So here's some examples, guys, to get you thinking. Now, by all means, you can magpie some ideas, but to be honest with you, I don't think you're going to need to here. I think you are more than capable and excellent writers of coming up with your own ideas. So these are a couple of ideas to get you thinking. So our main character, Elif, is playing in her grandmother's garden and notices a small fairy door. When she touches the door, she shrinks, so it's a little bit Alice in Wonderland here, and enters through the door. She arrives in an underground world full of caves, giant toadstools, and magical creatures. And have a think about what those magical creatures might look like, if there's going to be some in your world as well. Elif explores the new world and enters an area strictly forbidden and picks a magical flower. Alarms sound and Elif runs. She is chased through the magical world by an unknown threat and escapes. Elif cannot find the fairy door again, but the cut flower, which she picked, lives on forever, reminding her of her journey. So that's what she's brought back with her from her portal world. Other ideas for you here. Josh and Archie playing hide and seek in their house. Archie opens the hatch in the roof and discovers a new world. So can you see here 2 familiar places for our main characters? We've got Elif with her grandmother's garden, and we've got Josh and Archie with finding a hatch in the roof, but they're in their house when they find that hatch. This is a slightly different take on describing on the new world. They are transported to life on board an enormous sailing ship in Tudor England. So they've gone back, not to a magical world like Elif, but they've gone back in time to Tudor England. So if you enjoy history, that might be something that you might want to think about. The ship is thrown into a battle, perhaps against another ship. Archie desperately searches for the portal and the way back to Own World. And when they return, Archie finds a small packet or pouch of gunpowder in his pocket from that sailing ship. So hopefully, guys, this will give you an idea about where you can go with your story. So try and think about a familiar place to start with, makes the writing a bit easier. So it could be at home or somewhere that you're really familiar with, like a walk, for example, like I said before. And the new world, now that is entirely down to you. If you get stuck for ideas, just send us an email. We can help, or we can help in any of our Zooms that we have. But I know that you are fantastic writers, so you should be able, hopefully, to come up with an idea, whether it be a made-up land, a mystical land, whether it be somewhere in the past or in the future. That is entirely up to you. So hopefully you'll really enjoy coming up with some ideas. Remember to use lots of really rich vocabulary when you're thinking about some of your ideas. We won't really move on to writing in full until next week. So if you can get your story ideas really sorted in your mind and on our Boxing Up template, then that will really help. But as I say, get in touch if you're struggling and you need some help with ideas. We're more than happy to help with that. Or you can magpie some of the ideas that were on here today. Have fun and enjoy, and send us everything that you, all your ideas and everything that you come up with. See you soon.